Hey, what's up, folks? I'm going to start a series of posts or of videos entitled Perfect Pairings, meaning pairings of exercises. So it's so there's basically two categories. I'm going to put them into two different categories. One of them is going to be a push-pull category, and the other one's going to be a hip and quad category, or hip and knee category. All that will kind of become a little clearer as I go through the series, or you could also just whittle it down to upper extremity, lower extremity, or upper body, lower body. Anyway, I don't want to detail it too much because it's just going to get boring, and hopefully you'll learn as the series goes on. So with all our body parts, we have agonists and antagonists. I'm not trying to be smart here, but you basically have like opposing muscle groups. One of them directly opposes the other, or acts against the other, or decelerates the other, or accelerates the other. So I'm calling it perfect pairings, but they're by no means perfect. So I don't know why I'm calling it that, because I couldn't think of anything else. So they're not perfect, but they do complement each other. So for example, and one I'll probably start with, and the most simple and obvious, is a push-up and a pull-up. Don't get as simple as that. So that'll be the first one I'll probably go through. I think so anyway. I'm going to film them, and then I'm going to kind of voice over them as opposed to me talking at you as I'm doing it, or maybe it'll be a mixture of both as I go through. What else did I want to mention? Another thing is, like, some of the exercises, I'm going to just say, put it out there, they're going to be more, I don't want to say more advanced, well, because a push-up and a pull-up are kind of like basic, global patterns of movement, compound movements that everyone should be doing. But I'm going to kind of approach it in a little bit more of an intellectual way, not because I'm clever, because just what I've learned, like, from so many other coaches that are way better than me. So I'm going to give details into how to execute these movements correctly. But I think the pairing element to it you're gonna get a lot of benefit from. So anyway, I'll run through them. I don't know how many I'm going to do, but hopefully you'll enjoy them, get something from them. There's something else I was going to mention. Anyway, I can always come back to it. So yeah, look out. There's going to be one immediately after this video, so this will be the first in the series. And yeah, check back for the others, and hope you're all good, and that's about it for now. Bye for now. All right, I remembered two other things. One thing, there's no perfect antagonist relationship, meaning, so there's going to be two movements. A pair is two. Both movements will in some ways overlap in that they'll use the same sort of muscle groups. So it's not like, I'm using three different types of muscle group for movement A, and then movement B, I'm using the perfect, antagonist to those muscle groups. Some of those will be involved, with both in both categories. So there is no perfect pairing. They're usually smaller muscle groups though, like, stabilizers and synergists, and, basically muscles to kind of, balance you out a bit, as opposed to like the prime movers, the big muscle groups that are actually creating the main part of the movement. That was the first thing. And then the second thing, the real advantage of the push-pull, or these pairings, these perfect pairings I'm going to give you, is just the ability to get a lot of work in a short space of time, because they are opposites, although not perfect opposites, it allows you to shorten those rests out. So you're basically kind of like your sessions are going to be a denser, like more of a density style of session, getting basically more working in a short space of time. So you know, we're all trying to save time, right? All right. One more thing. So maybe you're all wondering, you know, why do you need to know all this? And come on, dude, you're making things too complicated. Just, you know, give me A, B, and C to do. Or maybe you're not. It's just good to educate yourself on, you know, what's the purpose of these exercises, and it's almost just kind of gives you a bit more of a guideline so you can make up stuff on your own, you know, like you're basically understanding, more of a foundation of what it is as opposed to just like specific movement. So once you've kind of gathered exercises in those two categories, you'll be able to create your own pairings, and obviously there's so many variations of all of the movements I'm going to give you. Maybe I'll give you some of them as I go through it, or just mention them in passing. But yeah, I don't know. Just trying to help you out. Okay, check them out, and let's see how many I can run through. They'll be going on in the next few days or something like that. Anyway, I'll stop blabbing. Okay, bye for now. Hey guys, okay, first up in the pairing, as promised, push and pull. So within the pulling categories, there is vertical pull and horizontal pull. So I'm going to go for the vertical pull. Yeah, this could get complicated, but I'm not going to make it, hopefully. So here we go. I'm just setting the straps up. So using the TRX, I'm going to give you 3 movements, all vertical pulling movements, with the easiest first, progressing to the hardest. So easy, middle, or easy, intermediate, hard. This is the first, so this is the easiest. Just setting the straps up. There's so many adjustments you can make with the TRX, the suspension trainer, you know, by adjusting its length, the length of the strap, but also your position relative to the strap, and your knee bend, the angle of the knee, especially with this movement. Basically, think of it like the further back you're falling, or the further forward the feet are, the harder it is. The further back the feet are and the more upright you are, the easier it is. So the position I've just got myself into is kind of like the hardest position, well, unless I elevated my feet, but the hardest position before I would then just go into a pull-up, like a hanging pull-up or a chin-up, as you would ordinarily know them. Okay, so I think I'm going to just make a few reps here. So nothing out of the ordinary. I'm resting my butt on the floor between each rep. It allows you to kind of give a little bit of a break on the grip, a little bit of a respite on the grip, because you know, we are carrying our own body weight here, so it can be testing on grip strength, and we don't want that to compromise the movement. So, you know, I'm in a pretty good high-end position. You know, everybody's going to be different, but you're just basically trying to come to full range, you know, high up as you can. Obviously, I'm assisting myself through the feet here. This is the regression of the movement. I'm supinating and pronating from my wrist a bit, you know, rotating a bit. I mean, it's not going to make a tremendous amount of difference. Maybe I've got a bit more, you know, I'm involving a little bit more bicep by doing that. All right, so next up, we've got the intermediate, the middle movement of the three pulls. I've detailed this a little bit more on another upload, maybe a couple of videos back on the channel. Yeah, so this is a jump stretch band. It's just like a, you know, stretchy band. It's one full complete loop. So you attach it, you know, at the top end of the pulling bar and over the foot, or it could be on the knee. depending on the resistance of the band. The more resistance, the more help you get. So I think this is an intermediate or a light band, I'm not too sure. So hook it over, and it's just taking your body weight out. Yeah, my demonstration here isn't fantastic, I must say. You've got to kind of negotiate where your feet are, underneath you. Make sure it's kind of not swinging you back and forth. So it takes a little bit of practice, but it just enables you to get that, that full range if you can't quite make it just using your body weight. Make sure you come down to a straight arm. Common mistake is people tend to drop and just leave that slight bend in the elbow. So you want to make sure you come down and get a good extension through your elbow. So yeah, I think I'm again making 4 or 5 reps here. And yeah, on the dismount, yeah, just make sure you don't hit yourself in the face. Onto the pressing. Easiest first again. Just elevated push-ups. So we see a lot of kind of push-up regressions done off the knees. Or yeah, I'm just kind of dead against that. I like to learn any movement, preferably putting the client in the finished position for as early as possible, basically. And it's easy to do with the push-up. So just elevated on a bar. I mean, you could do this on a bench, basically any sort of surface that you can get some sort of a hand contact and you have clearance for the head to go through that pattern. I'll talk more about arm position and everything in one of the other 2 examples. So I'll mention in this one though, protraction. Make sure when you're coming out of the press, lots of distance between the chest and the bar. I'm just out the shot here, but you just want to make sure those shoulder blades come out of that retracted position and kind of just sit nice and snug on the rib cage. Yeah, just to make sure you're going, you're taking it through both end ranges. Alright, yeah, simple enough. Regular full push-up, so intermediate. Yeah, intermediate. I mean, you suppose you could say that this is it, really. I mean, done correctly, you can add resistance and weight with, plates or resistance band, the same band that I've been using in the other videos. I'm at the bottom end here. I think there's a shot coming from the top, but you basically want to make sure that your upper arm, like as a rule, your upper arm is 45 degrees in relation to your midline. It's a little bit easier for me to show you from the top. I think that's should be a little later in the shot. Yeah, here you go. So at the bottom end on the floor, you can see there's my midline, which could, my spine. And you can see that my upper arm, my humerus, is about 45 in relation to it. It's a little bit like if I was to flip over onto my back and I was doing dumbbell pressing. It would be the same sort of pattern, same course that my arms would take through that pattern. Reasons why: shoulder health. It just prevents the head of that humerus kind of gliding forward and beating the shoulders up, the front part of your shoulder up too much. Just makes it a purer pushing pattern. Probably involve a little bit more tricep in there as well. Long head, short head of the tricep, especially on that lockout. Let me back up a bit. Yeah, glutes are tight. Posterior tuck. It's an anterior core movement as well as a chest arm movement. Such a great global pattern, the push-up. You can never really underestimate it. Yeah, dig in the toes. I'm kind of like, I like to make sure that people keep those feet accurate. People tend to kind of collapse them in as well. It's good to have nice straight leg on it. And we're always looking for contact on the floor as well. Chest and hips are in contact. And the last thing is, don't hang in that extension in the neck. Don't hang in that cervical flexion. So, you know, from that first vertebra up here all the way down to the last, cervical, thoracic, lumbar, they've got you all in a nice neutral position. So, yeah, I've got my arms are kind of a little longer maybe than the average person, so it looks like my hands are way too far back. But relative to my shoulder, they're good, or relative to how long my arms are, they're good. Yeah, it's one of them you've got to kind of just feel out. But people always tend to put the hands too far forward in this pushing pattern. You know, like somewhere around here. You know, like fingers would come to here. You make sure they're set back. It makes the push-up more accurate, but a lot harder. People will see that it's a lot harder. In gymnastics, they would call it like a hollow body position. You could probably say I'm in a little bit too much extension here, but they're in like a real hollow body position, which is, yeah, you're just getting the most out of the movement. Excuse me. Essentially, you're just getting the most out of the movement. That's basically it. And finally, third progression. Like I said in the previous, there's so many ways. Plate loaded, band resisted. Maybe I should have included those as the third, but we're just elevating the hands. But the difference now is the grip is closer, and also the wrist position's a little different. So push-ups on the ball. I like to give this one because it does teach that protract retract a little bit better. With that closer grip, yeah, you're able to really flatten your scaps and your shoulder blades out on the rib cage, which is so healthy for your posture. We call it the scapulothoracic joint. Kind of sits about here. Just teaches that, you know, nice posture through, you know, and movement through your shoulder blades in that pattern. It can be pretty tricky. Okay, and then just add in a bit of a plyometric based idea to it. So, you know, coming off the ball, decelerating when the hands hit the ground, maybe a little bit of assist off the ball to come out of it, and then hands back on. Yeah, so plyo based movement. This is the one I chose to show progression in the horizontal press. And that's about it. Perfect pairings, push pull, so upper extremity, both upper extremity, push pull. Check me out, neilaughton.com. The site's actually, I'm having a new site being rebuilt, so it's more of just a landing page at the minute, but there's some information on there. Yes, add me on Snapchat. So I'll be back soon. I'm hopefully going to get these in. I'm not too sure how frequent, 1 a week, 2 a week. But it's going to be a running series. Yeah, perfect pairings. Thanks for watching, and any questions at all on this video or anything fitness related, please don't hesitate. Shoot me an email, drop me a comment, snap me. Alright guys, bye for now.